And welcome to the No Assembly Required podcast, where Roberto does fake intros and Audrey and Romina crack up. And now your host, the woman who walked around Ireland on foot for no other reason than to amuse strangers, Red Romina. And now your second host, the girl who has watched not a single movie of relevance in pop culture because she grew up on YouTube instead, Audrey Ember. And your final host, the man who is watching the stock market burn, Roberto Blake.
Favorite hobby.
Wow.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
I think it's best when you just do them on the fly.
Yeah, no, I did not have that material planned. That was all on the in the moment, all in the moment. Improv.
This is what magic is. That's literally like you look up magic in the dictionary. And
Roberto's intro.
Roberto's fake intros are in the definition.
Speaking of magic, we were just debating if narwhals are actually real or not. I refuse to believe that thing that is a whale with a unicorn horn is real. This is not all. People think unicorns are weird. Who thought putting like a horn on a whale was a good idea? I don't understand.
Audrey, narwhals are real animals. There have been documentaries made about them. They've been featured
You don't know
on
if they're not
National
CGI.
and the Discovery Channel.
You don't know if they're not CGI.
Everything is CGI.
The biggest conspiracy.
No, everything is
time.
CGI. This is all a simulation, and I've hacked all the back doors. You're very welcome.
But seriously, how people look at unicorns and are like, oh, obviously that doesn't exist. But then they look at a narwhal and are like, oh, that's completely realistic. I just doesn't.
So do you believe in unicorns, Audrey?
I mean, I guess by this logic I should, but I don't. Maybe they do exist. I don't know.
I think it's entirely reasonable that a unicorn exists. It just doesn't necessarily make it a magical creature.
Yeah, I
Having
don't
a
think that
horn
its
isn't
blood
special.
cures anything or.
Yeah, no. I mean, people believe all kinds of nonsense, you know? I mean...
True.
Gabe says that
Maybe
he used to
somewhere.
have.
I'm literally going to end it there before I offend literally hundreds of thousands or millions of people.
Well, Gabe Altier says in chat, I used to have a pet narwhal. So,
He's just part of the conspiracy.
wow. Are you saying that Gabe isn't real?
Are aliens real?
Ooh.
Are aliens
Yes.
real?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so we all agree. We all believe in aliens. Great.
Of course.
That's out there.
Yeah, and narwhals are also real.
Romina is an alien, so of course she believes in them.
Is the government covering them up?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we're all in agreement on that. Excellent.
Right.
Do you think Trump knows about aliens?
Oh, hell no. Because no one would ever trust him with that
No.
kind of, like,
Can I
no.
tell
That'd
you
be great. He would
He
just
can't
spill
be,
it
he
for
can't be
everyone.
trusted not to incriminate himself for when he, like, pays people off or bribes people and makes them sign NDAs. He violates his own non-disclosure agreements. He can't be trusted with the secrets of our alien
Can
technology.
I tell you something? The I lost my train of thought completely.
Nice.
But I was going to say something that was related to that. Oh, right. So Jimmy Carter, had a UFO encounter. Do you guys know that?
I didn't remember that.
Yeah, he had a UFO encounter. And I think that this kind of stuff, they even don't talk about it with the president. Like, it's that
Yeah.
level
Dude, that'd be the first
above
thing I would
his-
do as president.
No, it's
Tell
above
me
it's
about
above
the
the
aliens.
president's it's above the president's pay grade.
Right. Yeah.
Like, there are things that you can't do because it would, like, destabilize the republic, and you trade out a president every 4 years, whereas with the military, that appointment is much longer standing. So
Right.
when it comes to, and again, their allegiance is to the republic. Military's allegiance is to the republic,
Right.
not to political interest, not to special interest. Presidents
Right.
can be bought. Presidents
Which is why
can be bought
Starfleet
off.
works.
They can be blackmailed. They can
We
be
need
bribed.
Starfleet. Everybody's quiet.
What we need is a strong and secure galactic empire.
So Audrey's been having some troubles.
Oh my
Some
God.
technological.
Would you like to hear about my
Technological
computer
issues.
problems today?
Tell
Yes,
me
of
the
course we
tale
want to
of
hear
your-
it. That's the
tell-
whole point of this podcast.
Tell me the
Okay.
tale of your troubles, young child.
So I had to shoot a video in 4K for a client, and I was trying to. First of all, editing it was a nightmare. I couldn't even. I had to
Proxies.
I tried proxies, but it takes like 4 hours to export the proxies themselves, so that didn't work. So I was like, forget the proxies. I'm just gonna do it without the proxy.
So did you edit in 1/8 resolution?
Yes, but I couldn't play the video like with the visual, so I had to hide. So I was blind editing this whole video basically with like
What? You were editing on your MacBook Pro in Adobe Premiere again, weren't you?
Yes, it's a 2015. If anyone's
Come join
It's not
us
even
on the,
that. It's not even
Come
that.
join
Roberto.
us on the
Dude.
dark PC
So anyway,
side.
It's not even that. She's working on a computer that's
Oh my God.
older. How old is your
You
computer?
saying it's older than me?
Yeah, I was about to say that. How old is it?
It's like 5 years old now.
That's ancient in computer times. That's ancient in
Not only
technology.
that, Roberto, it's not just the age.
So you're-
It's her specs. What are your
Oh,
specs?
The specs.
I don't even know what my specs are on this computer.
And it's like,
wanna
look,
look.
I hate to break
Probably
it to you.
so
I hate
bad.
to break it to you. When it comes to anything performance based, like that requires real power, Macs don't age well.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of Apple fanboys that'll crucify me for that, but when it comes to like video editing, Macs don't age well. Why do you think all the big tech YouTubers just buy the newest Mac every damn year? Sorry, that's the truth.
Sure, but
Just get a you want a video edit?
It
You're
all
an
comes
Adobe
down
person.
to the
Get on a
specs.
PC.
I'm very curious now. I think that our listeners will want to know. Audrey, please click on the Apple logo in the top left
I know. I literally just did that.
and
Show
let
your
us know
previous
what all
video.
of your specs are.
Okay, so disclaimer: I did not choose this computer. I've been using it literally since high school. So early 2015, 2.9.
So you've been using it since the beginning of high school,
Yes.
all the way through dropping out of college twice.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, 2015.
2.9. I don't know how I'm going to read this. The processor, 2.9, is that gigahertz? Intel 1.15. This is probably terrible to people who actually know computer stuff. 8 gigs of memory. And then I don't know what those numbers mean. Intel graphics 6100.
Ugh,
your graphics
that's
card.
disgusting. That's disgusting.
That's your video card.
That's like,
Yeah.
that's why everything is trash. That's part of it. Well, it's your processor, and between your processor, your GPU, your lack of RAM, like it's no, and you're trying to edit in 4K with that? Like that's barely
It's not
qualified for
working.
HD. That's barely qualified for editing in HD.
I know.
I think that might even be worse than the computer that I had. And I had a mid 2012 MacBook Pro.
What? Dude, this is not
My computer was 7 years old.
Yeah,
But
I don't
now-
think my mom was expecting me to be editing 4K footage in high school.
They didn't have 4K. Like 4K wasn't viable when you were in high school. Like
True.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't even like a.
yeah.
Thing that existed.
Yeah,
It existed, but-
it did. But it was like saying that you're making VR stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you know, where it's like, yeah, it exists, but why do it? You know, because there weren't TVs. Like it was just because there was no like way that people
You couldn't
were
even
really
film in
consuming
4K with a phone yet back then.
Yeah. Anyway, it was going to take 10 hours to export the
That didn't
video.
happen until after 2016.
10 hours.
Oh, that's disgusting.
And so I started it because I had got it done a little bit in advance.
You know
'cause I
what?
thought it was going to take a little while. and it crashed after 2 hours.
I get frustrated when it says, "Oh,
You
it'll
know-
take an hour on like my MacBook Pro
That's
for
like
that."
normal for me.
I get
like,
frustrated with 30 minutes.
But I got a Windows laptop that crushes it now. It's like I got a Windows laptop that's not even like $2,000. It's like Acer let me borrow it for a review unit, and this thing like has like a Quadro graphics card in it. Just like destroys video. It just crushes it. Like
God.
it's just amazing. Get a PC.
Crashes it. Crashes
You guys should, if anyone in the chat knows anything about PCs.
Uh-oh.
I know everything about
I mean,
PCs.
I know,
I'm right here.
I'm just opening it up to the chat. I know you know
Yeah.
a lot about PCs.
Oh.
I've heard that the XPS 50, is that what it's called? Is
15
good?
XPS 15.
15.
Sarah swears by them.
There we go.
Yeah, the
Yeah, my
15s are
friend is
good.
now.
The the Razors are good. The new HP Spectre is good. It's a little heavy, and then you got the HP bloatware though, but it's pretty decent. The new Acer Creator Series laptops that they partnered with NVIDIA on are really good. The Concept D5 and Concept D7 are really strong. Made with video editors in mind. Asus has this new videoing laptop that's pretty good. It's the one with the dual screens. Like it's the one that took like.
Oh yeah, I think I saw
Yeah.
Sarah's video.
Sarah loves that thing. So it's like I would say right now that the top tier are that Asus, the Acer, the Razer, and the Dell XPS 15.
Cool.
Audrey, you know what you could do for 10 hours instead?
Sleep.
You could watch the entire Lord of the Rings
Oh my god.
series.
Now I'm scared that's not going to export this video, and my client's going to be like, "Excuse me, where's the video?" And I'll be like, "My computer can't even." I don't know. I might need to get this
Alternatively,
like real
what you
fast.
could do if you can't get a computer right
What
now.
you
if you
could
can't
do is
do is just get a computer and then return it.
wait. Oh, that's actually not a bad idea. But
Just to
Audrey,
export one video.
yeah,
just to
no,
export it
like
and then you-
seriously. But Audrey, actually, like, when is this due for your client
Well, I sent him like a lower res version today
to
because
approve?
he's probably going to want revisions anyway. So probably pretty soon.
Well, if worse comes to worse, you can literally bring a drive with all of your files, and you can literally just come over here and render it on one of my monsters. Because like I have that thing's still actually really good, even though I built it in 2016. So I have the Stormtrooper over there that could probably do it, and more importantly, I have Starkiller. Yeah, so my computers are Star Wars themed. So I have the Stormtrooper, and I have Starkiller over here. Starkiller has 64 gigs of RAM. It has 6 SSDs. 2 of them are like M.24 NVMEs, and I have the NVIDIA GeForce 1070 Ti graphics card in here. And I've got, I've got Intel 9. Do I have i9s or i7s? I forget.
Dude, your computer has 8 times more gigs of RAM than mine. That's insane. But I might take you up on that if it gets, like, literally, if I can't export this video. I'm going to test tonight and see if it goes overnight, but if it doesn't, then I'll be in panic mode.
Right? Yeah. Okay, so yeah. Oh, yeah, so I've got the i9, I've got the i9 of that, 8 cores? 3.6 gigahertz. Got some overclocking in there. And yeah, 64 gigs of high performance RAM.
Nice.
Nice.
Yep.
My MacBook pretty much matches those specs.
Dang.
Have RAM?
What happened? Uh-oh.
He glitched.
Out. Yeah.
Your MacBook can't have 64 gigs of RAM.
Oh, okay.
No, it's
Can't
impossible.
you can spec it up, can't you?
No,
I think it goes up to 64. Then
no, the
My
motherboard can't
My
support that.
MacBook has 64 gigabytes of memory.
it can't. The motherboard for MacBooks can't support that.
Screenshot it, Romina.
They just built the new 16-inch to be able to handle 32. The motherboards for those Macs have never been able to support it. The iMac just started supporting that a couple of years ago. Like, how was it? That's not true. That's impossible.
Oh my god. Romina's like, look, she brought the receipt.
How did you? No, that has to be fake. No, that has to be
I'm pretty
fake.
sure we could spec it up.
Oh, wait, you have the 16-inch. Okay, wait, you have the new. I thought you were talking about your old one, Romina.
The one from
Why would I be?
2012.
Why would I be live streaming from that?
Okay, no, the new 16-inch can do 64. It does not. The processor's close to mine. It's not quite there. Graphics card, good dedicated graphics card, but it's not even. That's an Intel. It's not even close to the NVIDIA. In fact, actually, I'm surprised it has an Intel graphics card. I thought that they went with AMD. Thought Mac went with AMD.
Well, for those of you who are listening and confused,
Yeah.
I just shared my screen. So if you're looking away for a moment and you're watching this live stream, look back. You can check out my specs.
Yeah, the specs.
I
The
feel like we should do a
specs.
comparison with mine,
specs.
Romina.
Yeah, no,
No
okay.
specs required.
So yeah, okay. So I stand corrected. Because I knew the new ones could do that, but not the. I thought you were talking about your old one, so that's my bad.
Definitely not the old one.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
the old
definitely
one.
not.
It'd probably explode.
Oh God, like it probably would. It really would. Like
It would just explode.
skadoosh,
Skadoosh.
skadoosh.
Speaking of the fact that Audrey, in your fake intro, you mentioned Audrey being the girl who hasn't seen any film of pop culture relevance, and I thought you were gonna throw her under the bus for having released her video yesterday or 2 days ago, titled "The 7 Movies." Was it 7 movies
Yes.
to watch while you're at home?
Yeah. Oh my god. But even I said in the video, I was like, this is really weird because I would have made this video like 2 years ago. So you should be proud, Romina.
I'm pretty proud. I'm pretty proud. I mean, you didn't mention Planet of the Apes, but sorry.
Wow. Why is that one of your all-time? It's your all-time favorite movie, right?
It's my all-time favorite movie. My mouth is full because I just had a biscuit.
The old one or the new one? Romina gets triggered.
The old, the original.
Yeah,
I mean, it's about the classics.
the original.
Yeah.
Which one would I be talking about? There is.
Well, they
no
have the
other
new
Planet of
ones.
the
They have
Apes.
the new trilogy so far, and they're
Oh, right.
continuing it.
But those are not.
with Andy Serkis as Caesar.
That is a continuing. Those are prequels. So those aren't the Planet of the Apes. There's only
fair.
one Planet of the Apes.
Fair. Those are prequels. The other one they did like years and years and years before that. They tried to do a reboot, but that didn't work, so they went with the prequels, which I think was the better way to go.
Right.
But now they might actually lead into and might do
A remake.
which is fine if they go that route now. Like,
Right.
That's actually.
As long as they don't use Tim Burton. I love Tim Burton. I don't want to give him any shade, but I don't think that his version. I mean, it basically. I do not count it. It's
I
not a part of
understand.
it.
Believe me, I understand. And look, he's hit or miss. Tim Burton's hit or miss. I'm not the biggest fan
Audrey's
of.
face.
I'm not the
Audrey's
biggest
just
fan
like,
of.
why.
I'm not the biggest fan of Tim Burton did Beetlejuice, right?
Yeah, Tim Burton did Beetlejuice, Big Fish, Nightmare
Yeah.
Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before
Well,
Christmas is a cult
technically-
classic.
Technically, he didn't direct Nightmare Before Christmas.
He did the two 1980s Batmans, which I
Which
liked,
is
which I
also-
enjoyed, but did not adhere to the lore of Batman.
Right. Well, because he doesn't even like Batman.
I know, and that pissed me off.
And that's just like, well, then why? Do
that's the
it.
problem with half these people getting a hold of intellectual property and they just decide to like shoehorn their real story into this absurd budget that they're given because they're being trusted with a beloved property, and they're like, screw you fans, I'm gonna do my thing, and everything like that, and every one of them should be punched in the freaking mouth. So
Oh my god, that escalated quickly.
It
Anyway.
It did.
All right, guys. If you are in the chat right now, you've probably seen Audrey is reminding you guys. Don't forget to smash the like button.
Smash that like button.
It worked.
That like button.
If I don't hear smash,
Elbow drop that like button from the top rope.
It's really loud.
what was that?
I smashed the like button.
Use your aggressive feelings to smash the
Yes,
like
I'm
button.
angry.
Yeah, if you're angry and you know it, smash the like button. That's what Audrey used to sing. That was her like.
Yeah, that was my lullaby when I was
If you're
little.
Yeah, those
angry
were
and you
her-
know it, smash the like button.
Oh man.
When I was born in
that's
2015.
But in all seriousness, guys, smash the like button. It does help us with engagement. So if you are enjoying this stream, click that little thumbs up.
Do us a bigger favor. If you are watching the live stream, share it in the Twitterverse and bring us all the views.
Also,
You know what we
retweet us.
Or
What?
they should go follow it on all the places. Are we
Oh
on
yeah,
iTunes yet?
we started actually posting the audio version.
Yeah, are we
The-
on iTunes?
The audio drama of this podcast is now available in audio format across
We are on
all of
iTunes.
the iTunes.
We have one
iTunes.
rating, guys.
Are we
Go
on
give us a
Spotify? Is that
Yeah,
one
we are.
rating a good
Are we
rating?
on Spotify?
rating? Yeah.
Is
We
that
have
one rating a good
0
rating?
Stars.
Is it,
No, it's
wait,
a good one.
it's 5 stars?
Yeah. And I just
Did we
gave
get
it
did we get a review?
No.
Guys.
Oh.
Guys, go give us a review.
Yes, or we'll have to be doing it ourselves.
Yeah, I'm just gonna use
I'm doing
all
that
of
right
my-
now. I'm writing a review right now.
You're gonna see a review from Captain Kirk, from Spock,
From the Emperor.
from the Emperor,
Yes.
from Spider-Man. Audrey,
Good.
Audrey, why don't you tell? What are you doing right now? Are you doing something important? Are you tweeting
I'm
something
writing a
out?
review on our podcast.
All right, she's writing a review, so I'll give her some slack. Roberto, name 3 characters that you like. Can be from different things. Just 3 characters that you either admire or love or are a fan of. Like if they make a Funko Pop of it, you're like, that's what I gotta get. Can't be a Sith. Because we already.
Damn it, Romina. Take all the fun out of things.
All right, fine.
No, Skeletor.
Mm-hmm.
So there's Skeletor. The Green Goblin. Yeah, Normie is good.
Ooh, I
yeah,
love
the Green
Green
Goblin.
Goblin. Did you like William Dafoe's Green Goblin?
Yes.
I did too. It was
Yes.
great. I was like, I want a whole movie.
I'm out, am I? Yes. Oh, yes.
Why is my review not showing up?
Doctor Doom.
Doctor Doom.
So yes.
Doom.
Yeah. Skeletor, the Green Goblin, and Doctor Doom. I've defeated you again, He-Man. So that's Skeletor. Yeah, that's literally Skeletor.
Audrey, I think it'll take a second for the reviews to show up. I think they got to go through like a.
It was a beautiful review.
Where did you leave it? In iTunes? Or?
iTunes.
Yeah, I think it takes a. I don't think it shows up right away. I think it'll take a bit for it to show
You know, in
up.
the Marvel comics, that actually Doctor Doom is like correct. Like, in the Black Panther comic, Bast, the Panther God of Wakanda, guards the mine where all the vibranium, you know, the unbreakable metal that's Captain America's shield and his Black Panther's costume. So like the mines for the vibranium are actually guarded in the comics by the Panther god Bast, and she judges anybody and will, you know, kill them if they're not worthy. And so Doom strolls up, and then he decides, like, when she challenges him, he like strips himself down from his armor and everything and says, "Judge me!" And like the Panther god Bast looks across the entire multiverse and looks across like all the infinite futures and goes, you know, there's only one future where mankind actually has peace and prosperity and plenty, and it's Doom World. And it's Doom World. And it's like, and then like the Panther god Bast just steps aside, and Doctor Doom and like just goes and gets like whatever he wants from them. And then when like Doctor Doom comes out with all this damn vibranium, like, and Black Panther is looking at him and then looks over at the Panther god Bast and is kind of like, what the fuck just happened? It was like one of my favorite moments in the comic books. It was because it was like, so this guy, Doctor Doom, like this big bad villain, like at the end of the day, aside from his ego and hubris, like literally, if he ever can just get rid of Reed Richards, then he'll get to the business of saving the world.
Wait, I missed the question. What are?
I'll give you the question. Don't worry, you haven't escaped that. I just want to shout out Brooke Becky here for a sec because she has retweeted and shared and followed.
Woo.
Plus, she left us a review.
Thanks.
So
Sweet.
we're gonna give her a digital cookie. Actually, I got a real cookie right here.
No.
Hope you like.
Oh wait,
it.
wait, are those are those the Chessman? No, that's not Chessman cookies. Those are the God, what are those? The yes, thank you. No, actually, now I want the damn Chessman cookies. Those are like the best cookies, I swear.
Let's see. Audrey, who are your 3 favorite characters from like anything?
Fiction.
Oh my god.
Yeah, fiction, of course. Roberto can't be one of them. I know he's a character, but
Dude, I don't know. I've never thought about this.
Notice that I went with all villains.
yes.
I feel like I need to think about that.
All right, we'll let you think about that.
Favorite
In the meantime, we've got Trusted Texan says, my school is doing online classes for the rest of the school year. In my personal opinion, we should move online for all school moving forward. What are your thoughts on this? Just my opinion. Smiley face. Well, Trusted Texan, I agree.
I think it should be an option more commonly.
Right?
And I think this whole thing has just proved that a lot of places can do it, they just don't.
I think also maybe not just an option, but also, so my school, for a while, for a couple years, they started integrating the block scheduling, which was, you know, doing history class on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, right? And then just doing science on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So it wasn't like we were doing the same exact thing every single day. And I think that maybe having that kind of thing where it's, hey, on X days, we'll do online, or X classes will be online, and that kind of thing, so that there's a balance. Because I do think that there is a certain benefit from doing it online, but then also the human interaction, meeting other people, because school isn't only about going there to learn stuff from teachers, but also a way for children to be integrated with people who aren't their parents.
Socialized. You're just saying it's like so they can be socialized.
Right.
But when he's talking about school, the first thing my mind jumped to is like college. Like, I think more colleges should have online options. Like high school, in like primary school, blah, blah, you probably should like get that human interaction. But then once you're in college and you're working or something, like
we should have certificate programs, and we should have academic degrees all be able to be done online and at reduced cost to make it accessible, if
I
not
would
free,
say the same
to everybody. But in terms of your secondary and primary education, I think that but also probably you could
I mean, is he
grade
glitching?
school.
He's
Should you-
glitching.
Huh?
You were glitching a bit.
Oh, internet. Like, thank you, Comcast. Like I think
Oh,
that they should allow, like, I mean, I would love education reform, but here's what can be integrated immediately. There's two things that I think have to, in my mind, happen. You eliminate participation grades and attendance grades. Like, there should be that should not be part of the evaluative or diagnostic criteria for your abilities as a student. If you are getting 100s on the test and all the worksheets and everything like that, you shouldn't be downgraded because you missed more days or because you kept quiet and put your head down and did your work and didn't raise your hand, because clearly you don't need as much help as the other kids, so that makes you better. Like, and you shouldn't be penalized and get a lower score and be a C student just because you didn't show up to class and you still outperformed everybody. That's stupid. So let's get accurate evaluations of people, and I don't think like grades should even be fully evaluative. They should be just considered diagnostic to say, hey, you're good at this. Doesn't make you smart, doesn't make you stupid, you just happen to be good at this. Or you're not good at this, and now we know. And now we'll give you something to do that you're good at, and then we'll like figure out what you're good at, and then use that to help you become as useful as possible. So that's my other big gripe. But then the other thing is, I think that they should not require, but should supplement online education, meaning that you can pull up your overall GPA by choosing to do additional learning on your own time at home. And I think that'd be great for people. I think it'd be great for students who want to take initiative. It's also good for people who don't feel challenged enough in school. So I think that we should absolutely do that. And I think it also allows people to choose things that they actually are interested in to learn. And it shows what they might have an aptitude in, and it gives them more options. It also means that if they have that option available to them and it might improve their grades and their scoring, it means that there's now an incentive for kids in the States to do what kids do overseas, which is overseas they have cram schools. So a lot of children who are educated to a certain point to where they're doing very well, they're performing in school. A lot of them go and they actually go to cram school after. So they go to regular school, then they go to night school on top of that, and then they go home and study for exams. Like if you were a good student in Japan, that would be normal for you. But here in the States, and you'd still do extracurriculars, by the way. You could still do all of that and still be on like a sports team. And that's how there's not idleness in some of these countries abroad. They really are adamant about keeping people productive and keeping people busy and well-rounded. Here, people are itching and they can't wait to get out of school and lollygag and goof off and watch the Paul brothers. So that's why that's the real reason our society is going to hell in a handbasket. And I'm somewhat joking. Ooh. That's not to throw shade at the Paul brothers. I don't have anything against them, even though they don't exactly make great content.
Ooh.
Get him. Get him.
No, I'm just saying.
Get him.
I mean, there's a demand for nonsense, and it's I'm just going to say this. We've made, and by that I mean a society. We are a society that has made people rich and famous for absurdity and low substance and nothing of any real value or ability or talent. That's just facts. And that's our society. And now we've created a society where young people aspire to be that.
Guys, you immediately made me think of Trisha Paytas because we were talking about that.
Well,
that's a whole. Fits. Yeah, that whole thing.
Brooke brings up a good point, talking about disabled individuals and how these are things that they've requested for years. Now, because of a pandemic, they're becoming a little bit more readily available.
And it's not that it's not possible, it's just...
Well, there is a such thing as market demand, and so while anyone that's in a minority group or a fringe group or a small population can want something, see the need in it, the value for it, how it helped their community, and they have great arguments, The problem is axing for the other 94 or 96% of people who don't immediately need that to financially support it or to even championing it, which it might be the right thing to do, but it's not what most people would consider a priority until it's a priority for them, which I understand that argument. I understand why people resent that argument. And again, as someone with special needs people in their family, like, I totally get it, but at the same time I can play the other side and say, well, I mean, I deal with this with people who other people of color who have like political things they want, and I go, you're asking 96% of the population to do something for the other 4. Like, how do you think that's going to play out? You're asking 80% of the population to do something for the other 20. How do you think that's going to play out? Like, in what world has that ever, like, what experience in your life, your personal life, have 80 or 90% of people decided to do something for the other 5 or 10% at their own expense or to their detriment?
Yeah.
Because I've never experienced that. I've never experienced the overwhelming majority of people that, like, get no value out of something deciding to be altruistic toward the less than 10% of people who it helps. I've never experienced that, not once.
Yeah, it's kind of like how I want Starfleet.
No, that at scale benefits the other 90 something percent.
Sure, but a lot of them don't know that it does.
I think that if you gave most people the option of living in the world they live in now versus in the Star Trek universe, I think almost overwhelmingly they vote for the Star Trek universe, Romina.
I don't know, Roberto. I don't know.
We should all vote for the Star Wars universe, though, but only if I get to be a Sith Lord.
Oh no. Oh, dear.
Because that's in everyone's best interest.
I want to be. I don't know what I would probably be a communications officer or a science officer. I feel like.
Like, honestly, are you guys going to tell me that you wouldn't want to live in a Star Wars-like galaxy where
No, Roberto, I don't want to live in
I'm a Dark Lord of the Sith?
That's called Star Wars.
What about Star Life instead? Star Peace.
What about Star Trek? Where you just trek into the
No, we can't live in Star Trek because I don't want to deal with the Q continuum.
Wow. Well,
we
have to deal with...
We could live in Pokemon universe. That'd be the best one.
Okay, fine. I vote for Pokemon. I will.
I don't know if you guys
I'll
want to live
meet you halfway.
No, I don't know if y'all want to live in the Pokemon universe because I immediately form Team Rocket.
Oh, Lord.
I immediately form Team Rocket. I'm not even joking. Like, I take that from... If I don't form Team Rocket, I take it from Giovanni.
Just steal the copyright from them.
Like, no, I will battle him for the leadership of Team Rocket. But I also believe in some of his philosophy, not his philosophy about, like, the way he used Pokemon, which he did turn around. If you guys ever watch Pokemon Generations on the Pokemon channel, it's actually really good. It's a more darker, realistic version of Pokemon. But, like, he made a point when he was talking to his son, Silver, about the power of... organizations of strong groups of people coming together with a shared purpose. Like, and I thought it was a really good speech he gave about that.
Uh-oh.
One of our viewers, Chris Bryant, has never seen an episode of Star Trek and wants to fix that. During this
where can he watch Star Trek right now, Romina?
Netflix. There's actually a number of places. So if you write on Google, you put in what you want to watch plus the word streaming, Google will show you at the very top of the search results all of the different locations where you can watch it, including places for free. Now, they'll also show you the streaming services and how much it'll cost you underneath and where to rent it as well. That's a very easy way to find out, like, instead of going to, I'm going to go to hulu.com and see if it's here. I'm going to go to netflix.com and see it. Like, you just go to Google, you just put it in, plus the word streaming, and you'll be able to see all of the places where it's available. There's a few movies where you can watch pretty cheaply or for free. But if you're going to start with the original series, which is where you should start, then Netflix is the place to do it. And if anything, guys, you can always just get your Netflix subscription for this month and then cancel it if you ain't about that Netflix life. Just cancel it after the quarantine. Watch a couple episodes.
Audrey, have you watched The Wonder Years yet? Have you started on The Wonder Years?
Oh my gosh. No, she's turning away. She's turning away from the camera.
God damn it.
Right. Wow. Well,
No.
I've lost hope. Every day
She would love it. She would love it, and then she would want to go on to direct a retelling of a version that takes place in the time period she grew up in. Like if she watched it, that would become her ambition as a filmmaker.
Hey, I would watch that hands down.
Yeah, but you have to start it in such a way to where we end up getting an episode where we see young people experience 9/11.
I agree with that.
1988 is when it came out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Audrey,
It's so good though. I'm telling you.
I will maybe watch it.
No, you have to watch. Look, Audrey, you have to watch 3 episodes. You have to watch 3 episodes before the end, before the next podcast, before the next time we go live. You have to watch at least 3 episodes and tell us how you feel.
You know what, Audrey? You know what? I will watch the first 3 episodes if you will watch the first 3 episodes before our next episode.
I don't have Hulu.
Get the free trial.
Okay.
Yeah, get the what's the matter with you?
Okay, I will.
If not, I gotta log in. I'm sure there's someone in the audience who will give you their login.
Okay, I'll watch it by next time.
All right.
All right. You have to watch the first 3 episodes. The
first 3 episodes.
In order.
I will watch the first 3 episodes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will do that right now after we hang up.
Right now.
Right now.
Actually, I'm just going to turn this broadcast off. Let's see. Orlando Theme Park 360 says Freaks and Geeks is like an updated Wonder Years, but still behind a generation.
James Franco got some traction off of that. He was one of the people who was in that when he was young.
Yeah, he was.
That's actually kind of like where he got his start. I've watched the beginning of so many people's careers, honestly, over the years and everything like that. I watched Jennifer Garner's career start. I watched Scott Speedman, Scott Foley. I watched the beginning of Kerry Russell's career. Katie Holmes. Like, just so many people. And, almost everyone got their start on when the CW was the WB, and even after it became the CW, that was like the gateway for most of the modern stars that we have today. Blake Lively, so many people. Like, it's really insane. Both Chris Pratt and Emily VanCamp both got their start on a show on the CW that came out many, many years ago called Everwood. It was a really good show. Like really good show. It had a heartbreaking premise to it too. This rich and famous, powerful doctor, his wife dies tragically and suddenly, and then he moves his 2 children, he has kind of an estranged relationship, to this small mountain town in Colorado called Everwood. And it's this small town that she literally visited one time, and it was kind of something that if anything ever happened to her, he promised her that he'd take the kids there, and then so he just uproots them out of New York. He quits his famous medical practice as a surgeon, and just up and moves his kids to the middle of nowhere, Everwood, Colorado. But that is this really endearing story. You guys have to check it out. It's on the CW. You can watch it on CW Seed. But but the funny thing is that Chris Pratt from Guardians of the Galaxy got his start on that show back when he was, a little bit overweight. And also Emily VanCamp, who ended up in Marvel playing Agent 13. She ended up playing Peggy Carter's great niece in the Captain America movies. She also went on and she did her own show on ABC called Revenge for like 4 seasons, which was really good, by the way. Like, yeah, she got her start on this show. So her and Chris Pratt both started on this CW show and then ended up in Marvel movies. And they both ended up in Marvel movies. Isn't that insane? Oh, and Jennifer Garner was like a bit character, like a recurring guest star in when she and in the early Mac universe, she was Electra. Everybody's career starts like with the WB and CW. I'm telling you.
Yeah. So, Tojan Martin has answered our question. If you guys aren't following us on Twitter and Instagram, then you should.
You need to add the review, leave us a review, and subscribe on iTunes.
All right. Follow us. No Assembly Pod. At No Assembly Pod on both Instagram and Twitter. So Tojan has answered our question where we asked, what would you do with $1,000?
Oh. Do we want to give them the premise of like why we asked what they would do with $1,000?
No, I think we just jump into it. Why not? Let's just I mean, 45 minutes into the podcast, I'd say it's a pretty good time.
Well, that's how H3H3 does it.
This entire time.
Well, that's how H3H3 does it.
All right. Well, Tojan says that first they would continue to buy and upgrade parts for their Mac, for their MTB. What's MTB?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what MTB is. Oh, mountain bike?
Mountain trail bike.
Mountain trail bike.
Okay, yeah, I could see that. Like, then, biking is expensive if you go serious like that.
And then buy another the following month. Okay, so
You even said it after mountain trail bike.
I was reading. I didn't read the whole thing. What's the matter with you?
I didn't either.
Wow. Oh, I'm supposed to check my phone? What's going on here?
Well, you're too late now. That was like 5 minutes ago.
Oh my god.
So 5 minutes ago.
All right.
Audrey, what would you do with $1,000 a month?
Get a new computer. Or invest in a new computer.
Obviously.
Yeah. Well, that's like an immediate thing.
Okay, so like after that though.
I don't know. I'd probably just
Save money.
yeah.
I would probably get half of it and put it into an APY account that I have. And then the other, it depends on when I would receive it. If I have a bill that I want to pay, then I'd probably pay it. Otherwise, I will probably save it because I feel like I have enough income that's coming in where I can just pay my bills and then have that extra stuff. Like what I really want right now is savings. So if I can have that, but it depends on when it comes, you know. So if I got a phone bill or something, I'm going to pay it.
Yeah.
Right?
What about you, Roberto?
Probably buy shares of Microsoft.
That was extremely quick.
Like, no, I'd probably buy shares of Microsoft, or I would do that and then split the difference on buying some dividend stocks. But like Microsoft's so cheap right now, and it's not like they're going out of business, so I would probably just keep buying shares of Microsoft. Yeah, I'd probably be buying Microsoft and some other tech companies that I'm looking at. I'd probably buy Visa, because they're not going to go out of business. Disney's cheap as hell right now. So I'd probably buy Disney because Disney's like under $100 a share now. So I'd probably buy some Disney. And yeah, and then other than that, I would probably just buy some dividend stocks and put it in my retirement accounts. Because interestingly, you don't, if you have a business, you can get what's called a SEP IRA. A lot of people don't know this. So with a traditional IRA, you cap out at $6,000 right now. So you could cap that out easily with $1,000 a month. And then that's also tax free. And then if the stocks grow or pay dividends, if the money's automatically reinvested, you don't pay taxes on that. And so I would invest in not only my IRA, but I would invest in my SEP IRA because the cap on that is $55,000. No, they raised it to $60,000. So it's $60,000. So that means that I can put money into tax-protected accounts where the government doesn't tax me up to $66,000. So I'd probably put all of the $1,000 a month into something like that, because then that money makes money. The only other thing I could think of doing with it is I could just save it all and like buy a property. So that's what I'd probably do. Which is probably not relatable at all to anybody right now, so.
It's pretty relatable, I would say. I mean, like I said, it really would depend on when I would get it, you know? And depending on what I've already done towards my goals and, right?
Is that actually looking like it's going to happen, though, or are they just talking about it?
Multiple pieces of legislation are on Congress right now, and the president got on TV and said he wants to do it, and he got the Secretary of Treasury was sitting there saying they're going to do it. So
I'm pretty sure it will happen. Now, whether everybody will get the same amount,
that I don't think.
It's not going to happen.
I don't think it'll happen that way, but I think it'll be more than just $1,000 a month. I think that they'll give a lot more to people who have children, because I think that that's the way they're going to go with it. But I also think, I don't think it should be means tested, in the sense that I don't think that they should disqualify anybody from getting it. Because what a lot of people don't realize is that there are people who make a lot of money on paper, but that has nothing to do with how much money they keep. Because how much money you make has nothing to do with how much money you actually keep. Because all the small business owners that employ a lot of these people that are worried right now, they make $400,000 or $500,000 on paper, but all that goes back into their restaurant, or it goes back into that small shop, or it goes back into that liquor store. It's not like they get to keep that money. They're using it to pay those employees that also are worried. And the thing is, if they don't get any kind of relief to be able to pay their bills, they're not going to keep putting money into their business and keeping it open if they can't pay. They're not going to pay the rent on their shop instead of the rent on their house. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so if we don't give something, because like I'm tired of all these people who are like, even when Andrew Yang was running, people are like, why should these people get $1,000 a month too? It's like, well, people who make so much that they won't notice it could always turn it down. They have the ability to opt out. But the thing is, by giving it to everybody, what we're saying is we're not going to means test it. We're not going to disqualify anybody, which means we can give it to basically everybody with a social security number. Because if you try to means test it and say these get and these don't, you keep opening the door for shutting the door on people. And that's a bad idea. Just give it to everybody, and then we all get something. Everybody's a citizen. Everybody's a human being. No more division. And just call it a day.
Everybody's a citizen.
Well,
Everybody's a citizen, but not everybody's a Starfleet officer.
Well, I'm the only one who's the Emperor, so that's all that really matters. But no, one of my first acts as Emperor would in fact be to just give everybody cash in their hands and to keep the economy stimulated and give people a base floor. But it's like, it's altruistic on the surface, but for me, the real issue is this. The reason I would like these things is like, well, what if we let everybody go to school for free? A lot of people like bitch and moan at me about that, and like, you know, did some form of public health care, and what if we gave everybody money? And people are like, why would anybody do anything if you do that? And here's my answer to it. I would just love to see that, just because I'd love to see people's excuses go away. Because if you really want to talk about individual responsibility and bootstraps and all that jazz and everything like that, if you gave everybody every opportunity and every chance to do something with themselves, and then they don't, then you can be as judgy as you want, and I won't have a word to say about it. But if we don't give people a chance, then that's where, you know, I worry about the future of everything. Is like, we got to give people some kind of fighting chance. You know what I'm saying? Or they'll go the way of the woolly mammoth.
The way of the woolly mammoth?
Do you just have like a box of those somewhere with like
huh?
a bunch of those little statues?
Yeah, so for the people who don't know, like, Romina is like just poking her little like woolly mammoth figure at the screen right now. Did you start the dinosaur channel, Romina?
Oh yeah.
No.
Rominosaurus. Rominosaurus
Is that what
Rex.
we went with? Wasn't it Dino?
It was supposed to be a
It was Dino
TikTok.
Time with Romina, but like our joke was you're a Rominosaurus.
Oh right,
You're the last of your kind.
I'm the last of my kind.
You're the last of your kind.
I'm not going to be doing a TikTok. That's definitely not going to happen. One TikTok account is enough for me.
Well, you can't have it without having it on another device anyway. They shadow ban you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. What? You can't have?
Yeah. No, like one account, one device.
Wow.
Yeah.
What if you... All right. Well,
Yeah, no, one account, one device. I'm not joking. Like, I've talked to TikTokers about this, so that, like, their crap got shadow banned because of that.
You better have a different one for every single episode, Romina.
I'm sorry to disappoint you.
We're running out.
How are you guys coping with the current crisis?
Well, I work remotely, and so I'm not really a stranger to working from home. That kind of thing is not hard for me as far as like kind of like scheduling out my day and kind of being in charge of my day. But I quote unquote work from home, but I go to cafes and I go to like libraries. Like I go out pretty much every single day. So staying at home is a little bit more difficult for me because usually if I start to see a decline in my productivity, I'll change my location. So I'll go to a new spot, but I can't do that right now. So
Yeah.
Staying indoors, my productivity has decreased a little bit. It's a little bit harder for me to move around because like when I'm out and about in the world, it's pretty easy for me to just stop what I'm doing, pick up all my stuff, leave the cafe, and then go out for a walk, like at a park or something, so that I'm actually outdoors and stuff, which I still can technically do now. It's just a little bit harder, like being in my apartment and stuff like that. And I'm not really much of a gym person, so like just kind of staying moving and stuff like that.
The gyms are closed too.
It's a little annoying. Well, my apartment complex has a gym, which I don't think is closed, but that kind of thing, I think, is what has been hardest for me.
So the fact that like a little bit of like not being able to choose to have human interaction.
Right. Yeah.
I feel that.
Which isn't even like, so it's not even like, when people say human interaction, they think it's like an actual interaction, but it could just be being surrounded by people, like being at a cafe, I hear dishes, being clashed and like, coffee mugs and
signs
people
of
talking
life.
and yeah, exactly. Like civilization.
Yeah. So what I've shared here, if you could pop that up on the screen, Romina, is I am a creature of structure and habit and
That's the daily routine.
Yeah. This is Roberto's calendar blocking.
Whoa.
That's pretty much what my calendar looks like too.
Yeah, this is Roberto's calendar blocking. So like there's like
make it bigger.
There's like a whole that's pretty much like a whole day right there. But Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays are creator days, whereas Tuesdays are manager days. So I have what's called a maker schedule versus a manager schedule. So I do more of I do business stuff every day, but I do like more businessy things than be a creator on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then I'm a little bit more of a creator on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and that is my schedule. And then Roberto off is somewhat misleading for Saturday and Sunday. It's that those are free days, which means I can do what I want. If I want to work, I can work. If I don't want to work, I don't have to. So I can just do whatever I want. So that is the structure that governs my life.
Dang. That's pretty. I need to do more of that. Just be having like a more laid out regular thing because I'm pretty sporadic.
Brooke, you notice that every evening I have something there called a free period, and there's also some gaps in that schedule, so I can do my writing for my book, like during my free time in the evening, or during one of my creator sessions. I have the ability to do that as well. So, because creator sessions in the mornings means that at peak energy in the morning, I can do whatever creative work I want. So, any creative work I want can be writing, it can be filming, it can be editing, it can be Photoshop, it can be anything creative. So I have structure, but I have flexibility. I have structure, but I also have freedom.
Yeah, I will add also that having a block schedule, which I kind of go into in my productivity course, it helps to do that because then if stuff shows up, like for example, if I'm like, hey, Roberto, it's time for you to come out into the world and hang out with me, then he can move stuff around and still have those things get done just at a different time.
And because I don't have to 7 to start my morning routine, it means that I can still go to bed fairly late if I want to, which means if I need to get something done, I can still work until it gets done.
I mean, what?
All right, guys, I think we should wrap this up.
We're gonna wrap up on time?
Yes.
But Audrey has to tell us how she's handling the current crisis.
Oh, I mean, like, it's similar to what Romina was saying. Like, I mostly do work from home, so it doesn't make a huge difference, but it's still, the fact that I can't leave makes me want to leave more.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And also, I think my family's starting to go a little insane because, like, yesterday my brother walked into my room and was like, he just walked in and didn't even say anything. He just stood there. I was like, what are you doing?
Cabin fever.
Yeah, he's going crazy. So.
Yeah, they did make a whole movie about it, so.
I miss the fact that, like, this has canceled a massive amount of travel for me for speaking engagements and networking events and stuff like that. So there's people that I only see so many times a year that I know that I'm not going to see, like, this year now or not till much, much later in the year. So
Right.
I'm a little sad for that.
Yeah. I had to cancel my Create Her event, which sucks.
Oh, yeah.
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 That sucks.
And because this is like a really selfish reason, but it was Create Her event and it was also my birthday, so I'm not going to be able to see my friends in New York. So, but that's like a minor thing. I'm not complaining, but.
Even if you were, you were allowed to complain about
matter,
that.
yeah.
Like, it's your birthday. It's a legit complaint to make.
Yeah,
Like,
it sucks.
and it's your 21st birthday, isn't it?
Yes.
So,
Ooh,
yeah.
you were gonna live it up in the city.
In my house.
Audrey goes wild.
Yeah. Spring break is canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell that to all the people who went to
In
Clearwater
Florida.
Beach this last weekend.
Why is it always Florida? We should just cut Florida off. from
Clearwater
the US.
Beach is probably
Well, we
the
can't cut
worst.
Florida off because then that's like we lose Romina.
Yeah,
We're gonna come back and then we'll cut it off.
Yeah,
We're not all bad here.
like
I know, I'm
look,
just kidding.
Romina, just come on back and everything, and then we can execute Order 66.
Guys, look, he stays perched on my pinky.
Oh my god.
Anyway, we really should wrap this up, but I do want to say, next episode, Audrey will have seen 3 episodes of The Wonder Years, plus she will have thought of her 3 favorite characters from fiction.
Oh yeah, I need to think about that still.
And Roberto is going to give everyone who listens a digital cookie. So tune in next week.
So okay, I guess it's time for the
Time for the fake outro.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to the No Assembly Required podcast. No woolly mammoths were harmed in the filming of this podcast episode. Thank you so much for watching, and please make sure that you listen on all the available podcast apps, including iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Google Play, as well as Spotify, and pretty much everywhere that podcasts can be found. Make sure you join us next week for the thrilling conclusion where Audrey will finally have watched The Wonder Years and will be able to start her foray into relevant pop culture of the 20th century. This has been the No Assembly Required podcast.